Welcome back. Now, starting to see signs for the Rhine fall, which is exactly what I'm here for. Alright, well, this is not the scenery I was expecting, to be honest with you, but I can see the little star on the map, which must mean we're close, so I think I'll make that my final stop of the day. So the Rhine fall, and then hopefully it's got Wi-Fi, not the waterfalls, obviously that'd be mental, but hopefully someone nearby has got free Wi-Fi that they're giving out, and I'll find my hotel for the night. Oh, I think I've just seen a little glimpse of it. Right, so I need P2. Wow, okay, Switzerland is expensive. Literally all I've done is gone on Google Maps, typed in hotel, and I've got a text saying you've used 80% of your data cap. My data cap, thankfully, £5. Blimey, that was expensive. They did warn me. Well, I can't find any Wi-Fi that works. All I've done is receive one text, and I went on the internet for about a minute just to try and find a hotel. This is a stupidly expensive country. That was much better than I thought. I'd rushed that whole thing because I thought I was against the clock, but no, seemingly not. Well, isn't that impressive? That is just so vast. It just never stops either. Like, you think it would run out of water, but where does all the water come from? Well, it flows down the Rhine River, of course, but wow. Very impressive. Right, I'm gonna leave now. I found a hotel that said it was £54 a night, but now I'm getting very peckish, it's 6:30. So I found a hotel. Whoa! Nice. So I found a hotel and it said it was £54, so I'm hoping it is indeed 54. Well, it was 54 Swiss franc. I tried to get some Swiss franc out, and that would not work. They didn't want to accept my card for some reason, which is strange, because I've never had problems with Santander and using my card abroad before. There we go.
Hello, I'm just out here outside Hotel Edelweiss. Probably not how you say it, but it's a strange place. Nobody's there. Like, literally woke up this morning, went to go through to the main entrance bit. Nobody's there at all. Last night when I took my bags in, I accidentally left my helmet out in this courtyard area. I left it there for an hour and a half and nobody touched it because nobody's here. I reckon I probably could have just left everything on the bike. But there we go. It's a strange place. I find it weird that you'd run a business and not even be there in the morning, or leave a little note saying, by the way, we're not going to be here in the morning. But anyway, the door shut after me and the key's in the room, so thankfully I've got everything, because I just left the key on the table of the room. So yeah, a bit weird, but anyway, it's time to get on the road and we're going to head towards Zug today. So we're going to pass Zurich and then we're going to head straight to Zug. So see you soon. And I can't get back in because I have to give the key back, but then also as soon as you give the key back, the door shuts after you, so I think it relies on a member of staff actually being there. So it was a bit of a weird start, but anyway, we're off to Zug today, which is 76 kilometres. We'll get there just past midday, and I'm quite keen for some breakfast because obviously I thought they were just being a bit slow, so I gave them some more time this morning, but it turns out nope, just no one was there anyway. And I'm a bit annoyed. Either my charger stopped working in the night, or I never turned the plug on. But I plugged in my GoPro batteries and my sat-nav to the same charger last night, which normally handles it fine. And the sat-nav seems to be showing very, very low battery, which is unusual.
This is funny, this kid can't be very old at all. This must be like a Swiss thing. I've seen a lot of those little scooters actually, and the people riding them, they don't seem very old at all. So I'm going to have to look into that, but I can't imagine they're older than like 14, 15, something like that. I think they're not even fully mopeds, they've still got bicycle pedals as well, so a bit strange. But anyway, I'm in Switzerland now, so I'm going to have 4 days here. Food seems really expensive. Let's have a quick look. But everything else, just had a quick look at the petrol prices, that's about the same. I think only food is expensive. Like yesterday I was a bit stuck for choice, so I ended up at a Thai restaurant, which was really nice actually. So last night I had noodles, which was 29 franc money, Swiss franc, and then I had some beer for €3. Then I had some beer for 3 francs. Now, when I added it all up, when the bill came, it was 30 francs, which is €30, which are like quite a lot for just some noodles. But petrol seems to cost the same. Hotels, that was slightly more than I've been paying normally. That was the most budget, cheapest one. And there were no staff in the morning. That's to tell you how weirdly cheap the place was. And there wasn't a loo in the room. I had to use like a communal one, which was a bit annoying. I think first off of the day, some sort of food from the bakery, so I'm going to check that out, because this morning I thought they were just being a bit slow because we hadn't really set a time for breakfast. So I gave them a little bit longer, and then it was like 10 o'clock, and I was like, right, I really do need to either get some food here or go somewhere else. Right, catch you soon. Welcome back. Now I've got to say, I wasn't expecting much for a kebab shop opposite a pet shop down the side of a Lidl. And yeah, did expectations I had, it was pretty much it. I think what really annoyed me was I was just about to tuck in, and then 3 sort of like scruffy looking sort of yobbos decided to come stand right in front of my table and smoke, which I thought was really strange. Like, surely you can tell I'm eating, right? So I huffed very loudly and moved to another table, and they were nice and smiling and stuff, but like, I don't know, surely if you've got any proper manners, if someone's eating, you don't just go and smoke 3 cigarettes in front of them. And the wind was coming right into my direction, but it did mean I get to move into the sun. But like, surely, do some people not have any respect at all? Like, I think the little screen I saw said 23 degrees Celsius, but it was quite hard to read because the sun's so bright, which is probably a bit of a telltale sign that it's a warm day. I'm just not yet familiarised with the idea of just driving on the tracks like it's all normal. Still feels very wrong indeed. And what do you do if you've got one behind you? Do you just let it go? Or do you move out the way and it just goes past you and then you carry on? Or do you just say, no, you wait for me? I imagine the tram would have priority all the time. But if you haven't seen the previous videos of this trip where I'm driving on the tram tracks, then you'll be thinking, what's all the fuss about? But I'm not quite to grips with it yet, and it still feels very wrong. Chugga 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 choo choo. Well, if you've just joined me, I'm not entirely sure what town I'm in now, but I'm somewhere in Switzerland. The sun is shining. Gotta say, this route's a bit weird. There's quite a lot of residential roads, which are not very interesting for anyone, so I'll see you soon. It's more like it. Now, I've said that before and it suddenly, out of absolutely nowhere, turns into residential roads, but I'm hoping this is genuinely more like it. So we've got 25 kilometres to the centre of Zug, and it's starting to get a lot more scenic. Just pull in here. Holy moly. So we're going to get back on the road now, and we're going to head over to Zug. Wow, wow, wow. There are just as mountains as far as you can see. And we're 10 kilometres off the centre of Zug, which is just by a lovely lake as well, so I can't wait to show you that. Well, I can't wait to see it for the first time for myself either. So I thought we'd stop there and have some lunch. Oh, there's Ducati Desert Scrambler there. That's an absolutely cracking looker. I did really like Ducati, but I found the tank was too small and the whole thing was just too thin for me. I like a bike where I just before this I had a Triumph Street Twin, but before the Triumph Street Twin I had a Suzuki Bandit, so I've always been quite a fan of being able to sort of just grab the tank and just sort of being able to grip onto that really. And also when I rang Ducati and asked them for a test ride, they sort of just went and just made some vague noises at me. They weren't actually interested in letting me do a test ride, so I rang to say, hey man, it'd be cool to have a test ride on a Urban Scrambler sometime, and they just sort of went and they just come up with some random noises. He didn't actually want to sell me anything. It's the same when I went to Harley before I realised they're just not interested in young people. When I went to Harley, they basically just went, nah. So they let me out on a test ride, but it took about like 15 minutes for someone to come over. And I just think if you're trying to sell someone a bike and your target market turns up with money in their pocket and with their bike helmet, then surely you'd at least go, oh hello, what are you here for? But no, Harley just didn't seem interested in really doing anything with me, to be honest. They let me out on the 48 and god, what a disappointment it was. It was really disappointing, and maybe with some better exhaust it might have sounded good, but it looked amazing. Didn't sound very good. It sounded like a sewing machine. Aha! There we go. Let me just park next to this boat. Perfect. Let's have a look here.
You know you got me tongue-tied. Can't even produce the words. Like you're like you would need the verse, something like Shakespeare, something like Shakespeare.
Well, hello. You join me on the lakeside of Zug, and I've just had a very nice lunch. Although it was a very strange place. Everyone outside seemed to smoke weed, and there was absolutely no problem. No one seemed to have a problem with it at all. But then a policeman turns up in the car park, and someone goes out and has a look for them, and it was all a bit strange. It's broad daylight. It's meant to be a really expensive place, this, but everyone seemed a bit, I don't want to say it, but everyone seemed a bit druggy, which would explain the fact that everyone seemed to have a zoot in their hand, but a bit of a strange place, to be honest. I imagine Switzerland to be really clean. I know it sometimes has a drug problem. I suppose it comes with all the money. But in broad daylight at a cafe while people are trying to eat, it was a bit weird. I got to sit inside, but it was getting a bit strange, and then all these different really weird people came in, and then I thought, I'm bailing. So anyway, I'm off to the waterfall, so I'll see you soon. Oh, what a perfect place for camping. Holy moly! So this is the little village of Louds, and it is beautiful. Ooh, I'm going a bit fast, hang on. There we go. Hey, beautiful street twin there. I forgot how good they sound as well, but that's just lovely. Oh, it's cold in the noticeably cooler when you're not in the sun, obviously. They just keep getting closer and closer, of course, because I am driving towards them, but these mountains that look untouchable, we will do a mountain pass soon. It might not be this episode, but there is a mountain pass in store today. Can't get over how good this bike sounds, and that's stock exhaust. I've got no plans to change it. If it fell off, I'd put another stock exhaust right back on it again. Right, that's only for people on that side. This place is truly peaceful. If I shut the engine off, which I've just done, all you hear is waterfalls. The longer you look, the more you see. And they just seem to appear out of nowhere and just continue on down the hillside. Perfect. Right, let's get going. We've got a hotel booked tonight. It's 3 hours away. It's 152 kilometers, so it's 3 hours. So let's get going. Just so peaceful. Gonna go see how cold the water is. I imagine freezing cold. Let's go have a quick look. I don't think I could get enough photos of this place. Right, let's have a quick feel, shall we? Oh, that's lovely. I just don't think I can describe how cool this place is. I've got to get one more photo before I go. I am 100% going to come back to this place. Wow. Time honestly stands still in there, and it just doesn't look like anything else, does it? It's unbelievable. Next stop is some fuel, if they're open. I've got 13 miles till I normally fill up. So, let's go and check it out. Wow, can you imagine living here? Like, what? You must... Oh, dreams. Dreams, 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 oh dreams. Right, not very far to go at all. Here's the petrol station. Let's see what they've got. Sans Plum 98. Only problem is it's a bit of a slant. Here we go, I've just filled up with petrol, and I've got to say that's the most scenic petrol station I've ever been to. So that was 10 litres, so it actually was not that empty at all. Right. Always worth checking before I give myself the squits. But this must be the fresh spring water. Probably. Oh! I don't want to leave the place, it's so lovely. Long of a trip. was truly beautiful. And if you've got a feeling to go and check something out, just go for it. Like, when I went there, it was probably just before 4, and I managed to spend about an hour there just sort of admiring it. But time for me stood still in that moment. All I cared about was admiring the view. It didn't matter that I needed petrol, because I knew there was a petrol station that took card, and really it was everything I was looking for. Just thinking, when I filled up with petrol, I only got 10 litres in. It's a 17 litre tank, so I must have had loads more. But again, it doesn't make any difference whether you fill up when you've got 5 litres left or 7 litres left. It's still the same cost at the end of the day. So what I wanted to do was, when I found a place that inspired me to talk about travelling, I thought I'd save this speech, and this seems to be the perfect time. So just wanted to say, if you are looking at doing a trip, you know, this is day 7 for me. It took me 7 days to luxuriously get through here. But actually, if I look at where I stayed on my previous trip, this would actually only be day 4 or 5 if I really hammered down the motorways and pushed myself for at least 200 plus miles a day. And I just wanted to say, don't feel like you have to be like Itchy Boots and quit your perfectly good job just to travel, and don't feel like you have to take a whole year off like you did in your gap year. You didn't do a gap year. But please don't feel like you have to quit your job to come and see places like that. Like Itchy Boots, she's great and all that, but please don't think that's normal. Don't quit your job. Just do what everyone else does. Work a bit, take some holiday, and come here. If I wanted to stay in campsites, this would be an even cheaper trip. But what I really wanted to say to you is, if you want to be doing what I'm doing, just take some time off, right? Don't take a year off. Don't quit your job just so you can do this all the time. Although it is worth it, and the views are unlike anything else. I just want to say, please don't think that the only way to come here is to quit your job. I've taken 5 weeks off, but that's because I'm self-employed, and I had loads of work get cancelled because they decided not to do the show anymore. So I've only got 5 weeks spare because that's how it worked out. But if I still had to go to work, then I'd still have at least 2 or 3 weeks before my next project. So what I want to say is basically, just to reiterate, don't take your whole time off work to come and do something like this. Just take as much time off as you feel you need. If I plan my route, I literally put... it's very hard not to look down. So when I plan my routes, I literally just put places of interest, and I hop along and I say, okay, I don't like to do more than 170 miles a day. And remember as well, just like Cornwall and places like that, these are rural miles, okay? So this isn't 50 kilometers in a straight line on the motorway. This is slow, twisting, but perfectly enjoyable roads, okay? So yeah, but anyway, the biggest thing, if I can say to you, that you take away from my videos is do what I'm doing, do what Helmet Head's doing, see the world in little bits. Don't try and go all the way from London to Thailand in 30 weeks, unless you have 30 weeks free that won't affect your job, and you know, you can actually afford to do it. It is a bit ironic me saying, well, I'm away for 5 weeks, but I'm 24, I don't have a mortgage, sadly I don't have a girlfriend, I don't have any kids or anything like that, so really I've got basically no responsibility whatsoever, other than just letting my parents know where I am every day, and just drop in the occasional text to say hello to people. Ooh. That makes me nervous. So really, if you want to take anything away from my videos, oh my goodness, that's just hanging out in the road, is it? Really, if you want to take anything away from my videos, it's just do what you think you've got the time to do. Don't think that you can... hang on. I'll have to stop the metaphors for a while. This is not looking good. This is looking like it says shut. Well, it's obviously shut. I'm just going to turn around where there's a barrier to stop me. Oh, how annoying! I mean, there are worse places to be forced to make a stop, aren't there? Wow. Look at that. It's the snow on the hilltops as if winter is still here. That is truly incredible. I think what would have been nice is a little sign just before I come all this way. Just a little sign that says, by the way, when you've just done for like 15 kilometres, when you get to the top, it's going to be shut, okay? Would have been nice. Anyway. That's outstanding. Right, as truly stunning as this is, I do have a hotel to get to, so let's have a quick peek and find an alternative route. Okay, I've found a route that I think works, so I'm going to get back on this road, add the current route, let's see how it figures that out.